breathers.
And welcome back
To another...
Spooky?
Oh, definitely spooky.
Criminally insane?
Oh, yeah, I feel like that's in there.
Okay.
Bloody. What?
Bloody. Yeah, well, yeah.
Nasty.
Really weird. Episode of All My Favorite People Are Dead. I'm Sue Teresi.
I'm Shannon Butler.
What's new, Shan?
Oh, let me just tell you.
Tell me, girl.
I was so proud.
Of me?
Well, I'm always proud of you.
Oh, same, baby. Yeah. Okay.
I was proud of my Franklin.
What did Franklin do?
So for those of you who don't know, I have 3 miniature pinschers.
All rescues.
Well, one's definitely, one probably, the other one, she was just a splurge.
Okay.
Yeah. And she knows that she's the queen, she's hybrid, yeah.
So 2.5 rescues.
So Franklin is definitely...
I know, I remember when you got him.
Yeah, he came from a horrible place. And he's got some screws loose, like a lot of rescues do.
Yeah. But he's really compressed lately.
He's mellowed out.
Yeah.
He's become more dignified, I want to say. I mean, sure, there are times when he's still an asshole.
But from what I see, he's more confident.
He is. He's more confident.
Less grumpy.
Yes. So I take him to the dog park.
Okay.
And he's a reactive dog. So when he's on leash, he reacts. He barks at other dogs. Okay. But when he's off leash, in an environment with other dogs off leash, he's fine. Totally cool. Okay. He plays. He runs.
Do they separate him with the big dogs and the little dogs?
So I have that option because the park that I go to over here.
Yeah, that's where I take my grands. Yeah.
So, but my dogs like hanging out with the big dogs.
Wow.
Yeah. So I usually go on the big dog side. And frankly, he loves the big dogs. And they all do. So we get there yesterday. And there's this Frenchie who's also in the big dog side. This Frenchie has not been neutered yet. He's humping everything that moves. Humping everything. There's this one bigger dog who's like a brindle dog, really sweet dog. He's trying to hump every which way. Like choking him in the face, humping him on the side, humping him in the back. And
that's just disturbing.
I'm like, dude, you need to chill the front, you know?
Yeah.
So this brindle dog is starting to get fed up. I just like, leave me alone. Yeah. But he's not like aggressive enough to keep this guy at bay. Frankie sees this and he's just like, I've had enough. And he goes in and he's like pushing the Frenchie away.
Oh wow.
He's like, get away. Stop. He's barking at him. He's nipping at his back leg.
We've had enough here.
He's like, we're done, you know. And he comes in and he keeps doing this. He'll be clear across the field, sniffing. He looks over, sees his Frenchie go back after this brindle. He flies over.
To protect the brindle.
And he pushes him out of the way, nips him in the back of the leg. Go to work.
Did it work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it did. But he kept doing it over and over and over again because his Frenchie kept coming back for more. And Frankie had to keep coming in and step up and play peacemaker. And everybody in the park was like, go, Frankie! Because he was like the rescuer.
Where was the Frenchie's owner?
They were just laughing over in the corner. They're just like...
It's not, when your dog is irritating other dogs, it's really not funny.
Well, I mean...
somebody can get hurt.
The fact that Frankie was going in and nipping him at the back of the leg, they didn't care about that either. They're just like, oh, he deserves it. I'm like, well...
No. Frankie pet on it. No.
So, yeah, they didn't care. They're just cracking up. But Frankie was going in. And just,
oh, look, my kid is a bully in the playground. Oh, look, he's throwing mud at the other children. Isn't that funny?
Well, Frankie was the moderator, and I was...
But I don't think he would have done this a while ago.
No, he wouldn't have, no.
When I take my daughter's dog, my grand, he's also a little guy. He's afraid of the bigs.
Yeah.
He likes to be big with the littles rather than little with the bigs, you know? And we can usually find him on top of the picnic table.
Oh, that's where all my dogs
just jumps and sits there with people.
Yeah, that's where my baby's sitting.
Yeah, he's like me. We don't want to be bothered with anybody.
Mocha last night, he jumped up onto the table and was smooching with everybody who was sitting there. Yeah. This lady had a bag of treats, and Mocha's hitting her bag with his foot. Yeah. She kept giving him treats. I'm like, if you keep... See, he's figured it out, because he just hits the bag and she gives him another treat. I'm like, you gotta stop.
Who's training who?
Yeah. They're all really, really smart. But I was very proud of my Frankie.
Yeah, you should be. That's good. He felt empowered, and and he was helping out a friend.
He was being very,
and he was trying to get rid of the bully. So good for him. That's a very good story.
It is uplifting. So we're gonna go from uplifting to
really crappy,
really shitty.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna go.
This was I think a story that we toyed with doing, maybe not doing, because it's a story that needs to be told. somebody when oh, you're a podcast, like that means like it pays our bills. And
No.
I was like, yes, okay. She's like, oh, I should listen to your podcast, and of course I say someone should, right?
Yeah, someone should.
And I, and I tell her the title, All My Favorite People Are Dead. And then, it was misleading for her. I said, no, I don't think you understand that sometimes we're glad that some people are dead.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like, it's not like, oh, my favorite this or my favorite. Yes, that too.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're kind of glad that these people are no longer a threat to society.
And then that's the case with this guy.
Yeah. So take it away.
So today we're going to talk about Poughkeepsie's very own Jack the Ripper.
So I thought I was like Jack the Ripper did laundry. Yeah. Get it? Were you like that would be the name of a good dry cleaner?
Maybe before the 19th century, but not so much now. Huh?
So Poughkeepsie's own.
Poughkeepsie had one.
Yes.
And his name was Kendall Francois.
Yes.
Yeah. So this case, actually, it's everybody in Poughkeepsie knows it. And I kind of, I wanted to, I wasn't sure that I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then the reason I was inspired to look into this case is because there's this little old lady who comes into the library. And she comes in periodically, and she always asks for help with the copy machine. And we were talking the other day, and she was asking me what I was working on, because I was at the reference desk working on something. I was like, oh, I'm actually working on something about murders in Poughkeepsie, which I was. And, but historic murders going back, way back. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, well, my daughter was murdered here in Poughkeepsie. I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, my daughter was one of Kendall Francois' victims.
Oh, whoa.
I was like, oh, what shit. And then she was like, yeah, she's like, she was the last.
To discuss this with you?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, she was 25. She was his final victim. I was like, Katina Newmaster? And she's like, yep, that was my daughter. And I was like, holy shit. And I didn't think that the lady was messing with me. I mean, she's
nobody would say something like that jokingly.
But when I was doing some research on the case and I found pictures, I'm like, sure enough, there was this lady, a picture of this lady and the child's.
What was her reaction when you said you were doing a podcast about her daughter's murderer?
I did not say that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did not go into that.
You just said you were researching.
I was just researching historic murders. Actually, I wasn't even working on Kendall Francois. I was working on earlier stuff.
Now, this is recent. I mean, this is recent history.
Yeah.
We're not going back. When I moved to Poughkeepsie, my real estate agent neglected to mention that because this all happened in my zip code, right? Yeah. It happened locally, and I understand when the case broke, there were helicopters, and it was a whole big thing.
Yeah.
And I found out about it about 6 to 8 months after I was living here.
Okay.
That, there was a murderer here and a serial killer and all of that. And then as the years go on, I've spoken to other people. Of course, I went to school with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, I've heard a couple of people. He was it's always the nice, quiet guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
He was such a nice guy. I said, oh, I went to high school with him. I went to high school. I was like, oh. Yeah. So these hit a little close to home.
They do. Certainly do.
I mean, I was a little girl with Son of Sam, and that happened in my old neighborhood, when I was a kid. And I remember women cutting their hair and buying wigs and all of this. But here I got it from the flip side, knowing his victims and he himself having gone to the local school.
Yeah. Yeah. So
do you see the mom on a regular basis?
Oh, all the time.
Are you gonna
I probably won't mention the podcast. I doubt she listens to podcasts. I don't think that's something she does. But
I wonder what her reaction would be like. Good for you to get the story out there, or
I don't know.
Not. Yeah.
Right after I talked to her, I grabbed this book off. We have an ebook in our collection called The Body Dump, and it's actually all about this whole case. And I read through it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is, I read this book, and then I also did my own research because I actually found a couple errors in this guy's research.
I only know what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never looked into this. I got more information than I wanted from, hearsay, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
I just know what I know.
Yeah.
So
we're going to cover it all. We're going to cover it. It's going to be
okay. All right.
All right. So Kendall Francois was born July 26, 1971, here in Poughkeepsie. He lived with his parents, McKinley and Paulette Francois. Originally, they lived in the Vassar Garden Apartments, but in 1975, they purchased a house at number 99 Fulton Avenue, right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And
my mother used to live on Fulton Avenue. I had my mother living over there for a while. Joke. Yeah.
In 19 okay, so it was an older house, an old Victorian house, needed some work, but still owning a house is always exciting, and they needed a place, and Kendall was number 2 of 4 children that they had. Okay. Life was pretty normal for the family. The kids went to Arlington High School, right? Even though the house is like right on the border, right on the edge. You can literally walk to Poughkeepsie High School, right down the street.
Yeah.
They ended up going to Arlington High School because technically they were in the town of Poughkeepsie, not the city. So, which will also make this case a little challenging later on. So anyway, he went to Arlington High School. He was taunted because he was big. He was a big kid.
Big guy.
Because he was rather large for his age. In fact, he would always be large. He used that to his advantage in sports in high school because he was a wrestler and he played on the football team. By the time he was 15 years old, he was 6'4" tall and weighed 250 pounds.
Oh, like me. I'm not 5'4", but okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was thought of as a gentle giant and kept mostly to himself and was not known. He wasn't an excellent student or anything, nor was he a troublemaker. None of those things. So basically just blend into the,
average.
Yeah. After graduating in 1989, he joined the Army and did some basic training at Fort Still before being sent to an Army base in Honolulu. Now, there was actually a serial killer in Honolulu when Francis was stationed there. So,
jeez, what are the chances of that?
I know, right? But apparently he was not involved in any of those crimes. He wasn't a killer yet. He was discharged from the Army in 1994 and came back home to live with his parents and study at Dutchess County Community College, right down the street. He also got a job at Arlington Middle School, where he worked as a hall and detention monitor. But apparently he quickly became known for his lack of personal hygiene. The kids called him Stinky. Because apparently he never bathed.
No, okay,
so, yeah. One of the school officials recalled that she didn't like the way that Francis behaved around some of the girls, hugging them, playing with their hair, and following them down the halls, yelling out off-color jokes. Still, others felt that he was a good guy and great with kids. His mild-mannered personality kept him under the radar for some time. And on the other hand, his smell and his strength also gave him away. This is going to make sense in a bit. In the 1990s, Poughkeepsie had a problem. Drug addiction, right?
Everybody had a problem.
Everybody had that problem.
In the 80s.
It wasn't just Poughkeepsie.
It was all over the place.
Main Street Poughkeepsie had become a place where you could get it easily. Drugs, sex, anything. Main Street was also a place where you could find a good prostitute, cheap prostitute. You can see a downward spiral in this whole thing. All of the women that Kendall Francois would kill were essentially prostitutes with drug problems. And they all worked on and around Main Street in the city of Poughkeepsie. And almost every time, it was the same. He would get in his car, leave the house on Fulton Avenue, drive his mother to work. And she was ironically a psychiatric nurse at the Hudson River State Hospital.
Yeah.
Right, the mental hospital.
Yeah.
After dropping off his mother, he would drive to Main Street and pick up a girl, take her back to his parents' house, have sex with her in his bedroom, and then drive the sex worker back to Main Street. So for a long time, he was just bringing them back, dropping them off.
All right, well, there's no crime oh, no, wait, that is a crime. But, however, okay. So then he would head back, pick up his mom, right? And like nothing ever happened. As far as we know, he didn't start killing any of these girls until October of 1996. Wendy Myers was the first to go missing. She was 30 years old. She lived in a hotel in Highland, right across the river. She had a son who didn't live with her, and a boyfriend. She came to Poughkeepsie and got to work on Main Street on October 24th, 1996, when Francois picked her up. He took her to his place on Fulton Avenue. They had a dispute, and he strangled her to death. He then washed her body, placed her in a large garbage bag, and put her in the attic before going back for the rest of his day, going to pick up his mom. Just like nothing.
Just like nothing. Her boyfriend reporting her missing 2 days later. Gina Barone was reported missing 2 months later, in December of 1996. She was 29 years old, with brown hair, small build, just like Wendy Myers. She was also a drug addict and could be found walking the Main Street looking for Johns. or customers. The next woman to be reported missing was Kathleen Hurley. She was 47, brown hair, small build, drug addict, prostitute. Kathleen Marsh, age 31, was reporting missing in March of 1997, but her mother was not, she had not seen her alive. Her mother had not seen her live since November of 1996, which was just a month before she was killed by Francois. So it took a long time before anyone noticed that she was missing.
Even going.
Yeah. Again, same situation. These women were taken to Francois's house where he had sex with them, became enraged, and killed them by strangulation. They're all
he strangled all of them.
pretty much, yeah. Now the attic was starting to overflow.
I can imagine that
point.
Probably didn't smell good either.
Well, that was the thing. His family members said that
We're
they
still living in the house with these dead bodies.
And when they questioned him, apparently he said, "Oh, it's a family of dead raccoons in the attic. I gotta get it. I gotta clean that out."
For how long?
For a while.
Let me tell you something. I live with hockey players. So, like, if I go upstairs and there's a cup of coffee for too long and, some hockey equipment and stuff laying there, I'm going to smell it within an hour or two. You know what I mean? To have that for that length of time and nobody, and she was a nurse.
You got to question that. A little bit.
Well, my family, his folks and his sister lived at home, right?
Yes.
So 3 adult functioning people are in a house thinking they're smelling raccoons.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, ready.
So anyway, his next few victims, he ended up putting them in a crawl space in the basement. So he's now he's moving things around. He's running out of room. Police.
Don't you hate it when you run out of room to hide the body?
Oh yeah.
What a problem.
Definitely a first world problem. Police began to notice that the girls who were being reported missing were all similar. Small in stature, brown hair.
White women.
White women, right. Yeah. They were all prostitutes. They all worked in Poughkeepsie's downtown.
They all had drug issues.
The 2 main detectives on the job were Bill Sigrist and Carl Skip Manning. They began to look into some of the regular Johns, right, customers.
The usual suspects.
They were starting to talk to the girls in the street, like, hey, we're noticing a pattern here. Some girls are missing, what do you think? And, of course, these girls don't talk to the police. None of them, they don't want to talk to them because they all have rap sheets, right?
You can't.
They've been brought in from prostitution, for drugs, Yeah. So it's hard to get anything out of these girls. Francois' name did come up a couple times because the girls were like, oh, he gets kind of rough, he smells, so he did start to become...
So he was a suspect.
And a suspect, yeah. Police actually interviewed Francois. He was very charming to them. He even allowed them to go to his home. Right. They even allowed him to go upstairs to his bedroom. The house was in such a mess with so much garbage everywhere that the smell that they encountered when they entered the house could have been anything, they thought, because it was, just mountains of garbage everywhere.
Like a hoarding. Yeah.
It was disgusting. So they're like,
that's a good way to disguise rotting bodies.
This could be anything.
And again, how did the family live there under those conditions?
Yeah. They must have been okay with it.
Yeah, it's great. I love the smell of dead raccoon and garbage.
Yeah. So detectives, they felt something was off as soon as they walked in that house. They didn't like it, but they didn't have anything on them.
No evidence.
They had nothing. So there was nothing they can do. So off he went back into the streets. He did receive a fine for solicitation of a prostitute, which is a misdemeanor. So not as bad as you think.
Were the murders done by that time, or did he continue murders?
Oh, he's still gone.
Even though they came in the house and he knows they're on to him, kind of.
He's only got a few bodies in there right now. He's going to get more.
He's going to continue.
Yep.
Okay.
So, February of 1997, his next victim is Mary Giacome, who is 5'4", 110 pounds. She's no match for his 6'4", and now by this point he's 320 pounds. She
was eating the women?
Maybe. She was reported missing by November of 1997. And by that point, the Poughkeepsie Journal finally decided to talk about the fact that so many Poughkeepsie prostitutes had gone missing. What's interesting here is that if he had chosen to walk out of his house and go 2 blocks in the other direction and prey on Vassar students, this shit would have been in the papers right away. It took years before the Poughkeepsie Journal ever noticed, oh, hey, a bunch of prostitutes are missing. They're prostitutes. Nobody gives a shit. They're like, oh, less crack addict prostitutes on Main Street?
But
whatever.
That's what happens.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So nobody
These
cared.
girls are not important enough for them to follow up.
Exactly. If he had chosen to go and kill a bunch of Vassar girls,
well, the families would have come and it would have been a thing.
It would have been over. But these prostitutes, they all have families. But it's totally different.
Do we know what made him do that? Choose prostitutes over...
It was just easier. He can...
Well, a Vassar student isn't also going to go home with him either.
Exactly. It's so much easier.
I mean...
And plus he smells. Nobody wants to get near him. But these prostitutes are like, oh, you know what? I need the money to get my fix.
Right.
Whatever. Just do them and get out of there, you know? So, yeah. It's that... He couldn't... If he had been a clean, nice, maybe. But there's no way he's going to get a Vassar girl. No way. Anyway.
Or any college girl. Yeah.
So, now, did he kill every prostitute he hooked up with? No, he did not, which is interesting.
So what, he let some go?
He did, yeah, strangely. Laura Gallagher survived an encounter with him in January of 1998. He was rough, yes, but he didn't kill her. But she informed her friends on the street about him, and the cops convinced her to sign a disposition stating that he had sexually assaulted her. Right? So Francois pleaded guilty, and he actually ended up spending 7 days in county jail in 1998. But he was let out on good behavior and got out on May 25th, 1998. Within less than a month, he killed his next victim.
Naturally.
Sandra French, 51 years old, originally from Dover Plains, 5 feet tall, 120 pounds. Again, brown hair, prostitute, drug addict. Yeah. It was about to be, she was actually about to become a grandmother when he had killed her. But again, you know, she fallen on hard times, turned to the streets. Yeah. He killed her and put her in the crawl space in the basement. In August of 1998, Lucy DeGuido barely survived an encounter with him. She never let the police know what had happened.
She was afraid.
She was afraid. Even though she barely got out alive with this guy. She was able to fight him off. And apparently he tried to get her back in the car again. And she was, no, not doing this again with you. So, but she never said anything. If she had said something, you know, what might have happened? Later that same month, Audrey Pugliese, a 33-year-old who came up here from Yonkers, was picked up on Knoxon Street by Francois and taken back to his house. The author of that book, Body Dump, Fred Rosen, claims that she received a much more brutal beating because he strangled her. She had struggled harder to get away than the others did. She, too, ended up in the crawl space next to Sandra French. August of 1998 was a busy month for him. His final victim was 25-year-old Katina Newmaster.
This girl's daughter.
Yeah, the lady who comes... Yeah.
Okay.
So, same MO, smallish build, prostitute, picked up, taken to the house, killed during sex, and again, her remains were placed in the basement. September of 1998, Diane Franco had encountered Francois, and on other occasions, she had actually had sex with him a couple times and survived. And then she actually, he pulled up next to her, asked if she wanted to ride. She said sure. She knew the drill. She was used to him. Mm-hmm. They head back to his place. They talk business. They do the deed. And again, this 5'3", 120-pound lady, she didn't know. Well, she didn't know that she didn't realize that he was going to try to kill her.
Previously,
because
she's been with him, and now all of a sudden, this time he tries to kill her.
So she fights back, and was actually able to break free from him and convince him to drive her back to Main Street. So he does. Takes her back to Main Street. Before he even gets a chance to stop at the Sunoco station on the corner of Main and Grand, she jumps out of the car, runs off, saying that she'd been raped. Right. So luckily, the police, the detectives that were working on this case were in the area at the time. And they were able to kind of stop him and go, hey, what's going on here? So they take him in for questioning. For some odd reason, during the middle of questioning, Francois asked to see photos of the women who had been reported missing. Just out of the blue. He says, can I see pictures of those ladies who were reporting missing? The Poughkeepsie Journal had begun publishing these photos in the newspaper, going back to December of 1997. He started looking through the photos, which now included Sandra French, Audrey Pugley's, Katina Newmaster. One by one, he's looking through these photos and pointing at each one and go, I killed her. I killed her.
So he wanted to confess.
I might have killed her. Yeah.
So he had enough. He knew the jig was up.
I think he was done. Yeah.
How many women were there in all?
So when the police finally got to number 99 Fulton Avenue, they encountered the remains of 8 women between the basement and the attic.
8 women.
8. Curious and clueless neighbors were watching on Fulton Avenue as the remains were being brought out.
Yeah.
And the Francois family came out of this with no home, no idea what was going on with their son. And nobody in the neighborhood trusted them after that. So they're like, no, absolutely not. The house was a wreck. It sold later that year for $15,000, was gutted, redone, and then sold again.
I know.
The house is lovely today.
Now?
Yeah, you drive by, you'd never know.
Yeah, but how? I mean, you wonder about disclosure things too.
Yeah.
I don't think real estate agents have to tell you. If you ask, like, was this the Kendall house? I think they have to tell you.
Yeah.
But if you just, whoa, lovely place, you know. I don't know how you could live in a house like that.
Well, I'd be that nosy neighbor. Like anytime somebody was coming to look at the house for sale, like, what happened here, right?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. What happened to his family? Do we know?
So the family just shut down. They would not talk about it. I don't know if they're still in the area. They're not here in Poughkeepsie, I don't think.
Won't pay for them to stay.
Yeah. By June of 2000, Francois was finally in a courtroom when the judge asked one by one if he killed Wendy Myers, Gina Barone, Sandra French, Audrey Pugley's, Kathleen Hurley, Katina Newmaster, Mary Guccione, and Catherine Marsh. He answered yes to every one of them. Of course, he was found guilty and given a sentence of 25 years to life for each separate death. Francois was sent to Attica Correctional Facility until shortly before his death. He died at Wendy Correctional Facility on September 11th, 2014, at the age of 43 from AIDS-related illness.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, the girls got their revenge on him, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah. Wild.
I was told that the day that they started removing the bodies and all of that, helicopters were circling and everything was like almost in lockdown. I can't, picture that kind of grisly scene.
And he never gave a reason for why he did this.
Why he let some live and why he killed some. And
never said. And the family never spoke about it, and we don't know.
We don't know why he was able to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And how long and that was just it. Yeah, I killed her. Yeah, he just
out of the blue was like, let me see some photos of the missing girls. And just,
she's in my, did he tell them? Yeah, you could find them in my house?
Yep.
He told them where to look.
That day they were like at his house with hazmat suits and just like kicking out the family and going, oh, we got bodies to uncover here. I could just imagine what that must be.
The mother, I can't look.
I mean, she was a psychiatric nurse, for Christ's sake. She didn't see any of this? She didn't
see any of it, or why her son would behave that way?
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was...
Well, unlike Jack the Ripper, that guy was never, caught. There were so many different theories of who Jack the Ripper can be. We knew it was this guy.
Well, he willingly came out and admitted it. It does make you wonder if he hadn't fucked up the way he did where the lady got away.
He would continue.
He would have just kept doing it. Yeah.
You're only a thief, if you get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
To continue to take innocent lives.
Yeah. I
don't know.
It's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. No, Kendall was such a nice guy in high school, and people will me not know. Oh, do you remember that story? Yeah. Oh, I knew him, and his mother worked with my mother, and he was such a nice. Yeah,
I was giving a tour of the Poughkeepsie Rural Cemetery, and one of the folks on my tour was like, I knew him, and he was
in high school. Yeah,
they're like, he was an okay guy, strangely enough. I'm like, that's how it all starts.
Do we know if there were any women that he murdered, like that weren't in the house? Or women that went missing that they think he might have done that as well?
So it was weird because he killed all white women.
Yeah.
But during that same time period, one black prostitute did go missing. And he was a big black guy, but he swore that he didn't kill her.
Okay.
So there's this one woman in the list of missing women from that time period who doesn't stand out, or does stand out because she's black, and where all the other ones are white.
But he doesn't take accountability for that, and her body was never found.
Right, exactly.
So he never said, I killed other women and I ran out of spaces, or...
He just
would kill them in the house and keep them.
Like trophies.
Like Edgar Allan Poe, behind the wall.
Yeah.
With his family, living in the hoarding, disgusting house.
Yeah.
Because garbage does do a good job of masquerading decaying corpses. I could never buy a house like that.
I don't think I could.
Why would you want to live in a house like that? A house of murder and decay and filth. And,
I mean, in this market, I'm like, the price is right.
$15,000, you could buy a house, Yeah. Yeah, they gutted I know. I thought they had raised the I don't know what they did, but...
No, it's still standing. They gutted
They
the
rebuilt
whole thing,
it, they gutted it, yeah. Well, obviously, what are you going to do at that point? Once hazmat gets involved.
Yeah. I saw pictures of, the nasty spray paint that people had put on the windows and things after the family had left,
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah, weird. Very strange. So, Poughkeepsie.
They live amongst us.
They do.
Look, it could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Crazy people are crazy people. They don't know from location.
Yeah.
What a shame.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
So there you have it, breathers.
Once again, my real estate agent neglected to mention about the serial killer that was recently caught.
Well, I think at least he was caught.
Yeah.
It'd be different if, you're trying to buy a house. Like, oh, by the way, there's a serial killer in the neighborhood.
He's your neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Another
local,
weird,
painful,
stinky,
creepy,
disturbing
episode of All My Favorite People Are Dead. See you, breathers.
Don't go killing any prostitutes.
Or anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.